Welcome back, everybody. So tonight we're going to focus on kind of some of the aesthetics of this crawler. Now, I know we've gone over how this fuel tank has been cut down and welded up, and as I said in a previous video, I do have a different tank for this. I actually have a couple different ones to choose from, but I wanted to make sure before I started taking this off that this valve was going to actually seal off and keep the diesel that's in the tank in there for now. And so to my surprise, it actually did. I figured it would weep just a little bit, but it's actually been holding pretty good. As you can see from the nut down there that came out of here, wanted to make sure all that was going to come apart before I got too in depth with this project. So the next step is to pull the mounting bolts off of the tank. There are 4 of them. We'll go to the other side and show you kind of where those are. But while I'm over here, I wanted to show you there are extensions added into this seat. This seat should actually sit down lower. This bolt should be down here. Quite common to find in these crawlers. The 7U has the same thing. I don't know why. I assume it's obviously for visibility reasons, or maybe it's a comfortability thing. I guess long term I would rather put the seat back down where it's supposed to be. This pan should ride right down here. You can see the cutout in the seat matches this cover plate here. So to start, I think we're going to pull the fuel tank, and then I think we may pull the seat off and delete these brackets, put the seat back in, and then put the tank back on. So over on the other side here, you can see there are 4 half-inch bolts that come up from underneath, or I should say they protrude through the fender there. And these look like they've been replaced at one time, a newer bolt, so they should come out fairly easy. We'll get this tank out of here and get the other one in that actually goes in these holes back here. Alright, that's all 4. They came off really well. I should be able to lift the tank straight up and out of the way. The only problem is it's about over half full. We can check the dipstick here, even though it's not accurate as far as gallons go, because the tank is shortened obviously, but on the dipstick I show right below 20 gallons. So we're probably, I'd say we're more or less 3/4 full. Okay, so I actually had to slide the tank back just to get it out of that steel line. As you can see, that's the hole we were in. We're back probably 3.5, 4 inches. This tank, it's got some weight to it. We'll see how I like this. I kind of messed up my back a while ago. I'm not supposed to be lifting anything heavy, but we'll see kind of what it feels like and go from there. Well, not as bad as I was thinking it was going to be. Actually, quite a bit lighter. I think just moving it around up that high made it seem heavier. Once I got it down to a more manageable height, really wasn't too bad at all. So now the fun part is seeing how many of those bolts want to come out on that seat bracket, because that looks like it's been there for a while. I'm wondering if I actually might be better off doing that in another video, because I'm not running short on time, but it will be dark here soon. Let's go pick out a tank. So I have that primered tank kind of mixed in with the RD4 parts, or spare RD4 parts. And then if we come up a little closer here, I have this tank. Now I know it's a lot brighter yellow, but I know that the inside of this tank is actually clean, whereas that other tank is not terrible, but it should be cleaned. So I think I'm going to go with this tank here. So let's get it outside and set it up on the crawler. You know, I will say the guys that welded these back in the day, for what they had, they did an excellent job. It just surprises me that they could get, you know, those clean of welds. You're talking back in the 30s, 40s, early 50s. It's quite amazing. Back over on the other side here, you can see our angles don't quite line up. I need to turn that fitting just a little bit. Hopefully that doesn't cause a leak. I know every time you disturb a pipe thread, there's a potential of it leaking, especially when you're loosening, like we will be doing. I can push that other line down just a little bit, but I don't think I'm going to get enough out of it for it to really make a difference here. We're going to have to turn it. Okay, so I got that bent back to where it should be, or turned I should say, not bent. I also did clean the end of that fitting out. There was a plastic cap in there. I got that pulled out, and then I just sprayed the threads that were exposed with brake clean, just to kind of clean any dirt or debris out of there, just so we kind of keep this system as clean as we can. But I believe that line should hook back up into there now. I'm not sure how well I'll be able to get you guys in there, but we'll try. Well, I got everything snug together. There will be a little bit of flexibility in that copper line. I didn't tighten it fully. I don't want to do that until the tank is secured. But I noticed that this 1/2 inch pipe nipple here is actually longer on this tank. It actually brings this valve more out away from the fender. I actually do like that a lot better. Whereas in comparison, you can see they just ran a street elbow here. There is no nipple that brings this out. This line was actually rubbing against the fender. Now, I don't know if I'll use this tank for anything. I'm not going to throw it away. I mean, it does actually hold liquid. It doesn't leak. I could always rob this valve off for parts. It does seal, surprisingly. I do need the cap off it for the other tank. We'll kind of show you that. But let's get the fuel tank bolted down and go from there. As far as hardware goes, just for now, I am going to go back with what was on there. It's not right and proper, so Squatch, you might want to look away. But this is going to be a working tractor. I'm not too concerned about what it looks like right now. I couldn't stand that tank how it had been cut. So that's one thing I want to take care of. And like I said, I can't stand the seat riser. But we'll get those things taken care of. I'm not going to worry about paint on any of this, at least not now. This is going to be a working as it is type tractor. Alright, with all 4 mounting bolts secured back down, it already looks way better. Still not sure on the bright yellow. It definitely brings some life back to the tractor, but we got like 4 different shades of yellow going on here. If you look at like the front, that's a different color. That's about the same. Then you get into like this more brighter, dull, I guess. It's a lighter, I shouldn't say brighter. It's a lighter but dull color. Then you get into that, that's a nice bright yellow. Then we got primer. We have, like I said guys, this is going to be a working tractor. You'll see quite a bit of this tractor once we get it up and going, get everything checked over and that. We're going to run this one. That's what it's for. So we need to go back to the other side here. And I left the wrench here just so I wouldn't forget. We just need to double check and maybe get just a little bit, about 1/8 of a turn or so. And that should work. Okay guys, ever since I dug this tank out, this has been bothering me. I like the old caps, but boy, someone had their way with this one. So it's gonna go by the wayside. As you can see, we're missing the dipstick, we're missing the filter. I'm gonna rob everything out of that other tank and get it in this one. One thing to quickly note, this is a brass or bronze possibly. I'm not sure which is which. But this is an aluminum cap. Now, it doesn't bother me either way. This will take the place of that one. No problem. But as you can see, we need to get that snap ring dug out of there. And I need this dipstick. And we need that screen or filter, whatever you want to call that. Just using a flat screwdriver, I pop that snap ring out. So we will rob this. Let most of that fuel drain off so we don't make too big of a mess. And we will transfer it to this tank. Now with that in there, we'll have to pop that snap ring in and then switch over the dipstick and cap. All right, with all that in, leaves the last piece of the puzzle. Good to go. All right guys, that's gonna wrap up this video. I got my tools put away. You kind of look off into the sky over there. We're starting to get a little dark blue. There's some storms rolling in. Make sure I got the exhaust in that. I'll put back on this so that we don't get any rain in there. I got a few bolts on the tracks, but that ain't gonna matter. A lot of them will probably end up getting replaced anyway. But one more piece of the puzzle down. I'm still waiting on, I ordered some pony parts for it. Spark plugs they had at the local parts store. Plug wires I did order just for this. I did get a carb kit coming. I have yet to receive a tracking on that, on when that's going to ship. Unfortunately, some parts are a little hard to come by right now, so hopefully this doesn't take too long. I'd like to keep rolling on this one. Like I said, I want to take this one to a few local shows, and then we'll see kind of later this fall which crawler I decide to take to plow day. I could take this D4, I could take the K that I had last year. Either way, as long as we're on tracks, that's what matters. No wheels for me, at least not when it comes to having fun. So thanks everyone for watching, hitting the subscribe button, hitting the like button. We'll catch you on the next one. This one's kind of for you, Squatch. I found your patina. It's living on the RD4 hood here. Even has some nice tree growing through it. When we picked the RD4 up, that had to be cut out. Don't you two have anything to do? I mean, I can find stuff for you. Yeah.